And more than 70 people were treated for chemical burns and exposure to ammonia after a massive chemical spill outside of Oklahoma City. Authorities say that a tanker truck carrying 25,000 pounds of ammonia was leaking while parked outside of a Holiday Inn. Police say the cause of the leak could be mechanical failure or a faulty seal. Around 500 people were evacuated and a shelter-in-place order was given to nearby residents. Those have now been lifted, but officials say it could take days to clean that ammonia up. Joining me now for more on this is our Trevor Alt, who's in LA. And Trevor, what more do we know about what caused this leak?
Well, not surprisingly, Alex, officials say they believe that this was an accident. They say the driver of that tanker truck, which was carrying all of that ammonia, had stopped to stay the night at that Holiday Inn, was in the parking lot, and then there was that faulty seal or mechanical failure, which allowed the gas to leak out and then very quickly spread through the parking lot. And this created a really dire situation. We heard from so many people who ran literally for their lives, who said afterwards that they felt like they were going to die. One man told the Associated Press, he described the person he was staying with, said that his lips had turned purple and were frozen shut, that all of his skin was red, because that's the seriousness of these chemical burns, where you're talking about dozens of people who need treatment, 11 of them in critical condition, many of them still in life-threatening situations here. So this was certainly very frightening. It created a 1.5 mile evacuation order where you had officials wearing gas masks going door to door, telling people that they had to leave. Other people had to shelter in place. This very quickly became a very serious situation that thankfully they were able to get a lot of people out and hopefully to treatment. But as I said, still at least a few people in life-threatening condition.
Yeah, a terrifying scene playing out there. But Trevor, so what's the progress right now with the cleanup effort?
So the shelter-in-place order has been lifted. The good news is when you are dealing, of course, Alex, with a gas outside, naturally the air is going to dilute it as more time passes. So today they were able to lift that shelter-in-place order, and so the lingering threat of gas is much less than what it used to be. But ammonia, of course, is very potent, and there is still plenty of it in the area that could take several days to clean up. They also believe that some of it got into some drainage and possibly into a nearby creek, so you have to be aware of some concerns for the environmental impact in the surrounding area as well. The threat that they were dealing with yesterday is largely lifted, but this is still going to be quite the cleanup effort moving ahead, not to mention all of the people who are dealing with those lingering medical effects and the damages here.
Well, and Trevor, while I have you, we actually have some new video, I'm told, of this tanker leaking. If we can play that for a second. And so, Trevor, I don't know if you got a chance to see this, but I mean, essentially, it looks like a low-lying fog playing out as this tanker is leaking near that Holiday Inn. That is what ammonia leaking looks like, apparently. And so that's what hundreds, I guess, now of the folks in this area were dealing with.
Yes, and the fact that this spill happened right next to this hotel, we had a lot of people who said that they were asleep late yesterday night when this spill had happened. You see in the video the clouds, the really plumes of ammonia that are floating through that parking lot. It had engulfed all of those cars. It made its way into that hotel, too, so people woke up, realized they were having trouble breathing. A lot of people said that felt like their throats were closing in, and they had to run out through that gas, which is why so many people said they weren't sure that they were going to make it out, because from their perspective, they were surrounded by it. And you can also see in that video as it continues to kind of stretch out. This was really frightening, and it very quickly became a widespread problem, which is why that evacuation order was so large, 1.5 miles. Alex.
Yeah, precautions definitely needed there. Trevor Alt, thank you for that report.